So this is called your functions test preparation session, and we have a whole function like this. Now, a quick reminder is we have different types of function. We have your parabola, hyperbola, you have your exponential, and you have a straight line graph. There are certain things that are common to all functions. Let me see if I can just quickly put a footnote here. Certain things that we need to know. Just about, let's say 5 important things that I need you to know on general knowledge on functions. Just to remind us, general knowledge. Number 1, when we talk about the domain always refers to x values. We talk about the range, which is your y values for which the graph exists. All right, x values where your graph exists, and y value where your graph also exists. Number 3, we have intercepts. So x and y. X intercept, y should be equal to 0 across all functions. Y intercept, we equate x to 0 and then we solve. Number 4, point of intersection. That's a very important point. Point of intersection. When 2 or more graphs touch each other, we equate the functions. To find their coordinates, or to find the coordinates of the point of contact. Okay, number 5, let's talk about something quickly, reflection. We reflect about the x, or let's just say reflect about the x. What happens when the examiner says reflect about the x? What do they mean? It means keep the x and change the y. That is, your f of x then becomes negative. So you multiply everything. And if we reflect about the y, what do? We keep the y and change the x. That is, f of x then becomes f of negative x. You know, these are just general things that I need us to remember on every type of function. On all types of function. General knowledge. Then from here, we can start going into the different types of function, the hyperbola, the parabola, the exponential, and all of that. Okay, so we're going to use our questions to quickly revise all the different properties that I am talking about. Which one has an asymptote, and whatnot, and whatnot, and whatnot. Okay, let me know once you are done writing so we can move forward as quickly as possible. Just give me a thumbs up. Are we good? Can I see those thumbs up again or down? Let's see. If you are still busy, give me a thumbs down. But if we are done, I see 3. Waiting for Junior, Emmanuel, and Oluwetu. Oluwetu says yes. Junior, you done? Emmanuel, are we done? All right. So let's look at this question that we have. Oh no, where am I starting from? And guys, I'm going to take it very slowly, quickly on this function. So it says f of x equals to ax squared, and you must quickly understand the type of function. Guys, when I have this as a squared, please quickly understand, sorry, 1 second. Quickly understand that it is a parabola when x is a squared. Okay, 1 second. Okay, sorry, just quickly talking about taking a call. But now, this here, please, you must quickly understand that that's a parabola. Once I see a squared, it's a parabola. And this one, mx plus c, that's a straight line. So you must identify, it will give you an insight on what to look at. Now they said, consider the functions f of x and g of x. F and g intersect. What does the word mean? They touch at point A. Remember your coordinate, x is always first, y is always first. And okay, look at this. They touch at that point. Interesting. What does that mean? What can we do? All right. So if I were to tell you quickly, what does f of x mean? Let's write that equation. F of x equals to ax squared plus c. You know what this means? Your f of x is y. Always change it. And the examiner also gave me g of x as bx plus q. Change it. It means y. Now, these graphs are touching somewhere, and they touch at point A, which is -1 and -3. And they also touch at point B. You know what it means, 2 and 0? It means that A and B lie on F and G. And all I need to do, my good learners, let's sub in and see what we are going to get. Okay, so if y equals to ax squared plus c, what's our y value? -3, a -1 squared plus c. Let's see, what are we getting? Is it making sense? Because we're going to have two unknowns. So we have -3 equals to -1 squared is a plus c. So you would notice here I subbed in point A, which is -1. So I have an equation. I can also sub in 2 and 0. So y again is ax. Let's use one equation. What is my y? 0 a 2 squared plus c. What do I have? 4a. Do you notice I now have two equations? Equation 1 and equation 2. That is all that functions is all about. It's about substitution into the original function. So let's solve this together. I'm sure you remember how to solve this. We can find the value of c, negative 4a equals to c. And we can throw it back into. So we have negative 3a plus. Now what is c? Negative 4a. Oh, beautiful. So what do we have? A minus 4a is negative 3a. What is a? 1. Now I can get my c because I know that my c is negative 4a. So that's, guys, that's the beauty of functions. That is the beauty. Find the value of a and c. The same way, find the values of b and q. For me to use b and q, y equals to bx. Again, I am going to substitute a in it. What's my y? Negative 3, b, negative 1 plus q. This would give us negative b plus q. First equation. Then I'll go to b. 2 and 0. 0 is b multiplied by 2. What do you have? 2b plus q. We can also find, so my second equation, we can also find what q is. Negative 2b equals to q. Now what do? We substitute that in the other equation. What do we have? Minus 3 minus b. But what is q? Minus 2b. Minus 3 is minus 3b. What is b? 1. But but q is minus 2b, which is minus 2 times 1. Please let me know if this makes sense. Talk to me, everybody. Substitution. A and b lie on the graph. And once they lie on the graph, we can just substitute. Are we on the same page? Okay, now the examiner says sketch. Can somebody just take a picture of this and send on a group so that we can copy from the group? Take a picture of this. Screenshot quickly so that you can have the corrections on the group and we can copy. Please make sure you copy. Don't leave it on the group. Who's sending? Emmanuel, Chifiwa, Google. Somebody please send. Emmanuel, you were sending to me directly. I added you to the group. Did you see? So you should send to the group. Okay, I'll forward it. All right, so we have, thank you. Okay, so we have it now. And then, guys, we can go copy it later because I want to run, so I will do as many as possible. The next question says, sketch the graph of f and g. Let's quickly sketch. Very important, sketching a graph. Let's see. What are we sketching? We are sketching f of x. What is a? A is 1 and c is 4. So we are sketching x squared minus 4. Let's quickly sketch that. And then we sketch g of x. What is g of x? My b is 1 and q is minus 2. So x minus 2. Love it. Let's sketch this together. What do I do when I'm sketching a graph? Please, my good learners, to sketch, find your x-intercept. So sketching. We find the x-intercept of each of our graphs, y-intercept, okay? So we find x-intercept, we find y-intercept, and if it's a parabola, a turning point could also work. Important. Okay, so x squared minus 4 and g of x, x minus 2. Let's find the x-intercept. What do we know? Y should be equal to 0. So I'll say 0, x squared minus 4. Now, please don't forget that when we do this, it is difference of two squares. You must always remember that, please. Or every time I'm solving equation in maths, if I move that 4 equals to x squared, let's rearrange it. X is plus or minus. Don't forget that, please. Every time I'm solving, only when I'm solving, if I introduce a square root, it has to come with that. Basically, we're saying x1 is 2 and x2 is negative 2. Let's quickly put out a graph. Let's put out something here quickly. We're saying negative 2. You don't have to really calibrate, and measure, but just sketch. Okay, there I have my x1. My graph must go there. What about the y-intercept? I'm sure you guys remember that your y-intercept is the q. My y-intercept is actually negative 4. But if you are not sure, look at it. X is 0. Do you see that? That gives me negative 4. Which is that? Okay. There we go. And I know that it's a parabola. You can look at your graph already. Your graph is going to come down and turn there and go back up. Lovely. Well sketched graph. F of x. And then we have the next one, the g. Let's use yellow for all of this. X-intercept or green. X-intercept, we say y should be equal to what? 0. So 0 equals to x minus 2. Move that over. And this is a straight line. What's our y-intercept? X equals to 0. You can see that it's the negative 2 already. Lovely. So I have that x equals to 2 and y equals to negative 2. So negative 2 is some halfway. It is a straight line graph. That's why I said you must identify your type of graph. And there we go. And this is G. Yes, talk to me. Yes, Google.
Oh, sir, I wanted to ask, when you wrote x squared minus 4, is it okay if you just make it a difference of 2 squared?
Absolutely, Nana. Let's do it together. So we can say x squared minus what? 4 equals to 0. X squared minus 2 squared, right?
Yes.
And then we open two bracket. Beautiful. X plus 2. X minus 2, so x equals to 2, but I want you to start learning the tricks of maths. That if I find the square root, when I'm solving, I must put plus or minus. It's actually, you see, it's shorter. But I'm glad you saw it as we can open two brackets. That's very beautiful. Guys, are we okay with my sketch? I'm done with the graph. Are we okay? And if you can sketch the graph, you can also read from the graph. Sorry, I just want to see something. Okay, beautiful. That's it. That's the graph there. And you would see the point of intersection. This is what they gave us. They gave us point of intersection 2 and 0. And they gave us -1, -3. It actually fits perfectly. -1, that's the point they gave us. If you see, look at our graph, it kind of just works very well. -1 is almost halfway, and -3 is almost halfway there. Perfect. Perfect sketched graph. Picture, please. Screenshot. All right, thank you, Emmanuel. I'm just quickly sending the pictures instead of waiting for us to write, so you can go back and write. Look at the next question quickly. Determine the value of g of x. Now, please, I want us to see how to deal with this. Determine the value of g of x minus f of x. When I see g of x minus f of x, what does it mean? This simply means it means vertical distance between G and F, where G is on top of F. Please, let's note what that means. It's a vertical distance between G and F. But that question is a bit incomplete. That question is incomplete. Can I just complete it? Let me add something to it. It's incomplete. You know why? Because they did not give us an x value. So let's say when x, let's add something because they said determine the value. Let me use a black. When x equals to 1. So they can give us, or let's say when x equals to 0. They can give us anything to look at. Okay, I want us to do when x equals to 0, and let's say something else, when x equals to 1. I want us to do both of them. When x equals to 0 and when x equals to 1. Okay, so what do we need to do? Sometimes we can use the graph. Let's see. When x equals to 0, we can actually use the graph. So I'll go to my 0, which is here. G must be on top. Do you see at 0? G is on top and F is at the bottom. If I am looking for the vertical distance, let me use something else to show you that. From here to here, that's my vertical distance between the two graphs. Let's call it PQ. So PQ here would represent my vertical distance. And you can see that already. How many units? Do you see it's 2 units? When x equals to 0, 2 units. Does that make sense? Let me know. The question is incomplete, so I'm completing it and interpreting it for us. Let's prove it using calculations if we are correct. They said g of x minus f of x. Now, what is g again? I want us to prove it manually. G of x is x minus 2 and f of x is x squared minus 4. So g minus f. I'll tell you where the mistake is. If you forget to put a bracket, you see, I have to put a bracket there. Now let's expand. x minus 2 minus x squared plus 4. X minus x squared, 4 minus 2. That is my g minus f. Now, when x is equal to 0, let's see, what would it be? G minus f would be 0 minus 0 squared plus 2. My answer is 2 units. Can you see the 2 units that we got on the graph? Very simple. What about when x is equal to 1? What do we do? G minus f. We have that equation already. X minus x squared. So what do we have? 1 minus 1 squared. What is 1 minus 1? 0. Oh, it's still 2. Beautiful. Are you okay, guys? That's how we do the g of x minus f of x. Is vertical distance. Okay, guys, remember, just take a picture. I want you to listen to all the explanation because of our time. Oh, a lot of learners struggle with the last one. G of x is greater. Now, this one, I wouldn't say do it manually, but let's explain what it means. Now, the sign there means greater. So we're saying g of x is above f of x. But when it is equal or touch, this is greater, this is equal. That's what it means. Where is g of x above f of x? But because there is that equal sign, we talk about where they are touching each other. You read that from the graph. So, please, let's go and read. G of x. Where is g of x above? Look, that's it there. I don't know if it makes sense. Can you see that with g is right above, and then they touch at this point? Let me know if you can see what I'm saying. That g is resting. Can you see f is below? That's what we mean. I don't know if it makes sense. G is above f. Talk to me. Give me thumbs up. You need to understand that. G is greater. It means g is above f of x. And at this point, what happens? At this point, g is equal to f because they touch each other. That's point of intersection. Okay, quickly. At this point, what can we say? Do you see that the parabola is above the straight line? Right? So, which one is the parabola? F. F is above G here. Same thing here. F is above G. I don't know if we are on the same page. Remember, it's revision, so I'm going left, right, and center. You need to make sure you understand and ask. Here, G is greater than F. Or, we can switch it and say here, G is below F. We're still saying the same thing. Less than means below. That's my G. It is right below my F. Same thing on this right hand side. Or G is, we're saying the same thing. G is underneath. But in the middle, G is above F, or F is right below G. So it's the same thing. You just need to know above and below. The question now is, how do we write the answer? How do we write the answer? Do you notice that the green shaded one is between my x value is -1 and my x value there is 0. So it's between, we are looking for x values, -1 and 0. My good learners, look at how we write it. it is between -1 and 0. These are, no, not 0 and 2. These are x values. Between, that's my symbol there, less than, -1 and 2. But they said also equal to, and they are touching each other there. And that's my answer. Talk to me if my answer makes sense to you. Between, look at the inequality signs. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Please ask, because I'm moving quite fast. I need to make sure we are on board. If there's any question, let's ask quickly. You have 3 minutes to ask me questions. No questions. Emmanuel, please send a picture of this page again. So please rewatch this lesson slowly again. Functions is so important, guys. It is true. It carries a lot of marks. If we get it right now, we are going to have a good ride in grade 11 and 12. Thank you, Emmanuel. Guys, copy the answers from the pictures that we have. We have a question here. Oh, this is 5 marks. Come, quickly. 6 minutes. Everybody, maximum 6 minutes. What type of function is that? And then you carry on quickly. Was that all right too? This is an exponential function. This is an exponential function. You can see your x is an exponent there. Okay, let's quickly answer this. Then we get another. I want us to go to a hyperbola. Let's answer this now. I was saying earlier on that you would notice that your x is an exponent. So it makes this an exponential function. So this is an exponential function. And one thing that we know on an exponential function, it has one horizontal what? Asymptote. And that horizontal asymptote is your q. Okay. In this case, you can actually see that we are told that, look, from the graph, I can see what my k is. I can answer number 2 quickly. This is y equals to 1, and that's my asymptote. And in this case, that's my k. Can you see where k is? Because normally this equation is written as ab to the power x plus q. So already I'm done here. K, I don't need a calculation. K is 1. That's my asymptote. Okay, 5.1. Use the laws of indices, which is exponent, to show that, oh beautiful, 2 to the power, this is laws of exponent, I love it. X plus 2 plus k. Let's interpret this. When we do laws of exponents, what are we saying? When we are multiplying with the same base, we add. So this can be written as 2 to the power x times 2 to the power 2 plus k. And what is 2 to the power 2? That's 4. So this is 4 times 2 to the power x plus k. Are you seeing that I'm done already? Let me know if that algebra makes sense to us. Did it make sense to you? Laws of exponents. Come talk to me. Thumbs up, thumbs down. You want me to repeat? So we break it down and we split it up. 5.2 is answered. Oh, 5.3, write down the equation of the asymptote. That has already been done. Y is equal to 1. Done. Please take a picture and send it to the group. This is an exponent. Oh, before you take a picture, let's write the domain. I want us to add a few questions. What is our domain here? You would notice that this arrow tells me that my graph is continuous. That means, and my graph continues like that. So all values of x is my domain. X is an element of real numbers. What about my range? Let's look at the graph. Where is the graph now according to our y values? Do you notice there's no graph? Do you notice there's no graph here? All my graph is from 1 going up. So my graph is lying above 1. All my y values are above 1. My graph is above 1. Y greater than 1. Let me know if it makes sense to you all. I hope it makes sense, everybody. Let me show you another way to find the value of k. Let's use a calculation just for emphasis and knowledge. Look at this. I want you to see something about functions. I actually know the value of that point. X is 0 and y is 5. I want you to learn this about function. It's very common in functions to take whatever you know and substitute into the equation. So my equation is y equals to 2 to the power x plus 2 plus k. Do I know a point? Yes, my y value is 5. My x value is 0. You must learn to do this. Now 0 plus 2 is 2 to the power 2 plus k. Check that out. 5 equals to 4 plus k. Can you see that my k is 1? So either I observe knowing my equations, or I calculate because the examiner says determine. Are we okay? Please take a screenshot and send it. We'll move to other questions. I'm waiting for a picture so we can move. Thank you. Okay. Oh, good. Let's look at this one quickly. 7 marks. This one, we're sketching, beautiful. So let's use 5 minutes because the first one is easy, second one is easy, third one we sketch. Come, 5 minutes, everybody. Can you hear me now? Okay, sorry, I think my mic was a bit... Oh, so everything I said here you didn't hear? Oh, Lord. Okay, let me repeat everything I said because it's very, very important. The note I wrote here, very, very important. I'm going to quickly repeat it. Let's do this. So, a hyperbola. Just going to repeat it. First thing I need to see is x is a denominator. Once I see x at the denominator, I can say it's a possible hyperbolic function. It has two asymptotes. Or before we write two asymptotes, y equals to a over x plus p plus q. Two asymptotes. The horizontal asymptote is basically y equals to q, whatever the value of q there. The vertical one, we usually equate the denominator to 0. And then we solve. Okay, take note there. What else did we say? We spoke about the axis of symmetry. There are two of them. We have the one with the positive gradient, y equals to positive x plus c. It's a straight line. The one with the negative gradient, y equals to negative x plus c. And my x and y would actually be my asymptotes. That's what I substitute there. My x and y would be my asymptotes. Or, same axis of symmetry, the magic box. We can use the magic box. Y equals to a over x plus p. That's our equation, right? Sometimes we can use a minus. It doesn't really matter there. Okay, plus or minus. That equation would lead you to the same equation we have here. So basically, it is plus or minus x plus p. If they want the positive one, you use positive. If they want the negative one, we use the negative. That's how it works. I wanted to just put a note here for me. The axis of symmetry passes through the point of intersection of the asymptotes. That's why we can substitute that there. That's why we can substitute our asymptotes. You would see, I'll try it quickly for you. Okay. So we can deal with this question now quickly. F of x is 2 over x minus 1. Question 1. The first question says, write the equation of asymptotes. Very simple now. It's 2 marks that I need you to get very, very quickly. What are our equations? Y, vertical, negative 1. X, equate the denominator to 0. My denominator is just x. And I'm done. Oh, let's write something here. Oh. So I just keep remembering what I should tell you. Domain. X is an element of real numbers, but x cannot be equal to the asymptote. I don't want to give you p or negative p. So x is an element of real numbers. X should not be equal to the asymptote. Or we can write it as x is an element of We spoke about this a lot. Union, negative infinity here, and then to infinity there, where this one becomes my asymptote. Just say that. Whatever I'll do it here for you. Whatever the asymptote is, that's what we'd write there. And the same thing for the range. Y is, okay, this one, I'm just going to write Y cannot be equal to Q. So we can write this as Y is an element starting from negative infinity to Q, but curved bracket because it's not equal to, and then we have union, it's a U. Starting from Q again, not inclusive, to positive what? Infinity. We spoke about that over and over again, that you must know how the examiners would ask that. Google, can you hear me now? We good? Okay. So I'm done with my first question there. Number 2. Oh, what are we looking for? Okay, let me use this one to write the domain. If the examiner were to ask me for the domain here, I'll say x is an element of real number, but x should not be equal to 0. Or x is an element from negative infinity to 0, that's 0 there, union, make sure it's a curved bracket, that's 0 again to positive infinity. What is my range? Y is an element of real numbers, but y should not be equal to my asymptote, -1. Or y is an element. The reason I'm writing this is when they give you this, you must be able to pick your asymptote there from -1 to, so you would see that that is my asymptote. That's my asymptote, and you would see my asymptote as 0 and -1. I hope we are on the same page. Are we on the same page? Okay. Please take a picture of this in case you didn't finish the note. Quickly take a picture. Take a picture. I'm waiting for it to come through. Thank you, Manuel. All right. What are we looking for? Guys, I'm just rushing. That's why I'm taking pictures, sending to the group. Please go back and copy them and look at the questions again. Y-intercept and sketch. Y-intercept and sketch. Okay, what's my equation? Y equals to 2 over x minus 1. Y-intercept, we know that x should be 0. So let's put it there. If you put this in a calculator, you are going to get an error. And I told you what that error means. It means there is no y what? Intercept. It gives you an error. So this graph should not touch the y-axis. However, can we get the x-intercept? Y should be 0. So 0 equals to 2 over x minus 1. What do you start with? The -1 must go over, become a 1, and we can cross multiply. X equals to 2. So we have x is 2 and y is 0. Sketch the graph. What do we know? We start with our asymptotes. X is equal to 0. How do you represent asymptote? Dotted lines. And y equals to -1. -1 is below your 0. Please write that there, -1. Remember, x and y. And we know this equation, x equals to what? 0. What do we know? X equals to 2. So my graph must touch somewhere at 2. There. Already, guys, I can see the quadrants that my graph would be in. Remember, not a straight line, so it must go towards the asymptote. Bend it, that quadrant, and the opposite quadrant. Oh, beautiful. You must make sure it's a 2-part graph. It's a 2-part graph there. And if I were to ask you for the axis of symmetry, where is that? Let me use a yellow. It must pass through that point there. There we go. There are 2 axes of symmetry. It must pass through that point. What will the equation be? Look at. I'll do it in 2 ways for you. Y equals to x positive. This one is a positive gradient. And this one is a negative gradient. Y equals to negative x. For me to get this equation quickly, I remember I'm running. Do I know my equation of asymptote? Yes. I know that x asymptote, x equals to 0 and y. I can just throw it in there. What is my y? Negative 1. Oh, so my c is negative 1. I'm done with my equation. Y equals to x minus 1. What if I want to use the magic box? Check my magic box. Remember, it is the one with a positive gradient. So the x must be positive. Oh, look at. Can we just write that out? Do you see that I have exactly the same equation? Done. The magic box, or you substitute. Let's test it on the negative one. Look at it. Y equals to negative x. What is my y? Negative 1, and my x is 0. You would notice that c is still negative 1. So my equation is negative x. Lovely. Let's use the magic box. Write out the equation. 2 over. Now, because I want the negative, what do? I am going to put a bracket and put a negative there. Cut it out. Magic box. And write the equation. Negative times x, negative x minus 1. Do you notice? I have the same equation. Are we okay? My grade 10s, is it making sense? We did all of this, so we're just putting everything together. Quickly, before I go to the next page, we have one more question. What happens when you solve? Solving the axis of symmetry equations gives you the asymptote. You must know this because it's a point of intersection. I have 2 equations. Y equals to x minus 1 and y equals to minus x minus 1. Let's see how that is going to play out. So y equals to x minus 1, and let's see what we are going to get. Let's equate them. Negative x, sorry, let me start with the left hand side. X minus 1. Okay, let's see what we are going to get. Move that x over, it becomes a positive x, 2x Move that negative 1 becomes a positive 1, 0. Ooh, x is 0. Do you notice I'm back at my asymptote? And my y equals to x minus 1, 0 minus 1, negative 1. Do you see I am back at my asymptote? There we go. Whenever I am given the axis of symmetry, you can send me a picture now quickly. Take a, ooh, it's a rough page. Whenever I am given the axis of symmetry, I can get the equation of the asymptotes. Oluetu, where are you lost? Talk to me. Talk to me. You gave me a thumbs down. You gave me a thinking emoji. I'm thinking. Thumbs down. Oluetu, unmute yourself and talk to me. Are you okay? You sure? Please ask if there's anything I said and you are... Yes, I'm listening to you. You're okay, okay, lovely. A picture, please. We need to move. Somebody assist, please. Don't let's wait for Emmanuel alone. Okay, but he's done it. All right. I have one more slide just to complete the... Oh, beautiful. We have a graph. Come. Let me give... it's 4 marks. Let me give you 5 minutes. Now we're working with a graph. This is such a beautiful one. We sketched the graph earlier on. Okay, let's make it 6. We answer and then we would log out. And then you should be ready. All right, let's answer these questions quickly, reading from a graph. So we are given that the diagram shows the graph of f of x as negative 2x squared, and we have f of x, which is a straight line. The point R and S, always look at the graph. The point R and S are the x-intercept, and T is the y-intercept. Okay. Write down the range of G. Which one is my G? My G is the, check, that. Do you notice there's no graph on top? So I cannot be talking about anything above. All my graph, see, look at this. This point is called a maximum. So when I have a graph that goes like that, this is the maximum. So all my graphs are below. Oh, once I say below, it has to be less than. And range, y is less than or equal to the top value there, 8. That's number 1, 4.2.1. Please understand what I did there. My graphs are below. Below talks about less than, but equal to as well. Where did I get the 8 from? It's written there. The y what? Intercept. Coordinate of R. Oh, they said right, guys. Once the examiner says write down, you don't need to calculate. Look at what I'm going to do. This point is the midpoint, which is called the axis of symmetry. If this is 2, from here to here is 2 units. It means this is also what? 2 units. We must know that. So R will be 2 units to the left. So R negative 2 and 0. Please, I'm just going to give a short note on turning point and axis of symmetry of a parabola shortly. Okay. Use the graph to determine the values of x for which, look at 4.2.2 here. The examiner says we want f of x to be less than. What does that tell you? F of x must be below. Okay, let's go see. Where is f below g? By the way, what is this function? That's g. And this is f. Okay, I want my f, the straight line, to be below. I don't know if you can see that we are referring to this point. Let me try to, we are referring to this point. I don't know if it makes sense. Because I want my f, that's f, the straight line, to be below g. Does that make sense to you? Can you see that with me? Give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down, please. We have just 3 minutes or less. Google, unmute yourself.
Sir, can you explain it again?
All right, I will do so, Nana. So when the examiner says that f of x is less than, it means it must be below, right? Which one is my f? It's the straight line. Oh, where is it below? It's underneath. Can you see my G? G is above. F is below. Can you see that? I'll do it again. That is G, and that is F. F is underneath G. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And guys, whenever the examiner says, the examiner is talking about x values. What are the x values of that shaded point between negative 2 and 0? Remember how we wrote our between. And that is my inequality there. Tat, x, negative 2 and 0. And this time around, they didn't say or equal to, so we don't put equal signs. Are we okay? Before you take a picture, I just want to add a little note here for you. The axis of symmetry of a parabola passes through the turning point of the parabola. They have the same equation. Whether you are in grade 12 or whatnot, grade 9, they have the same equation. It's the same thing. It is the midpoint of the x-intercepts. So I'll write two equations for you, which is the turning point and the axis of symmetry. So x equals to minus b over 2a, or x is equal to x1 plus x2 over 2. These are both the turning point equation or the axis, or let's say and axis of symmetry. I can use any one of them, but only for a parabola. Let's test it. I want you to see something. In this case, my x1 and x2. So you would see my x1 is negative 2 and my x2 is 2. But it's the midpoint. That gives you a 0. So x is equal to 0. It's both my turning point and my my axis of symmetry. And here the domain. We can write the domain down just for emphasis. Last thing I'll be writing, my domain x is an element of real numbers. Those arrows there is telling me that my graph continues for all values of x. And yeah, did it make sense to you? Take a picture now, send to the group. With this knowledge, you should be ready to handle almost any test. Coupled with what we've done before, then you should be able to handle any question. Are we all good? Okay, thank you, Manuel. Picture is in. And that will be it for now. Okay, remember, if you have a test on functions, come back to this lesson and rewatch. So that's your revision tool for functions. The link would be on the group so that you keep it and just rewatch it. Or we use the app, the Crazy Physics app, to rewatch those lessons. If there's any other admin technicalities, we will discuss it on the group. For those that don't have the app, I don't think, we need to check if the app is working for everyone. Otherwise, we need to sort it out by end of today or tomorrow. Anyway, if there's no question, this is your functions test prep. Have a lovely, lovely day. Goodbye, everybody. Okay, wait. Yes, Emmanuel?
So,
yes, I'm listening to you.
I want to say that for 4.2.1,
Yep.
I said why is an element of negative infinity from the positive infinity?
Y is an, yeah, you can write it like that. Y is an element of?
Negative infinity.
Yeah, because it's a negative infinity bracket. And then what? 8. But here you must use a block bracket.
8, okay. Yeah.
Because it's equal to, it must be a block bracket there. Awesome.
So you're saying something not an app.
Okay, let's talk about that on the group. Yes, because I have to get into my grade 11 class just now. All right.